Like his ancestors, Nainoa has memorized a detailed map of the stars. But can he use this map to find his...
So for the first part of the night, then we'll have...
Thompson's goal is to show that society is trying to demonstrate that their ancestors could navigate vast stretches of open ocean, long before the compass was even invented.
Well, I'm going to get the sails up.
Thompson's goal is to show...
Alright, so this is one Hawaiian historian / navigator who went and found the only Polynesian left that knew how to travel by the stars in Polynesia. This person, Maupiai, a Micronesian man, is dead now. But before he died, because his sons and his grandsons did not want to learn anymore, and the art was dying within his people, his Micronesian people. So he went out of his way to teach 15 Hawaiian descendants how to travel by stars, to relearn their ancient knowledge. So now they have a non-profit organization where they teach young students from UH and Hawaiian schools that have recently been opened. Okay, so they go out and they do navigating, and they have traveled throughout all of Polynesia. They have several boats. They even built one for the Micronesian man who retaught them how to travel by the sea without a compass. So here we go.
That even a crew of young explorers with no modern instruments can find their way using his ancient knowledge.
We're going to hold a course towards Tahiti. So for the first part of the night, then we'll hold a course back to Hawaii. So it'll be like we're going to Tahiti in the minds of these students, and then it'll be like coming home once we turn around.
Their main tools come out at night. Like his ancestors, Nainoa has memorized a detailed map of the stars. But can he use this map to find his way across immense stretches of open ocean?
The traditional star compass is very old. It's, as far as we know, it's probably 3,000 years old, and it's not magnetic. It's not in a little box. It comes from the heavens. It comes from nature, and it's defined by rising and setting stars that come out of the ocean and go in the ocean every night. Nighttime is interesting because it's a time when it's the best time and it's a time when it's the worst. When there are a night like tonight where there's so many clear stars, we have hundreds of opportunities to keep a very accurate course.
Rising and setting points of the stars provide direction.
So what direction we're heading?
Southeast, southwest.
The night sky is like a dome that encloses the Earth in space. The dome revolves around the Earth on its axis. The canoe is at the center of the dome, fixed, with the world and the stars shifting in front of them.
We have hundreds of...
Okay, now this is why I recorded this, alright? So eat this up, alright?
Opportunities to keep a very accurate course.
We have many opportunities to keep a very accurate course.
Rising and setting...
Now they're gonna show you how Hawaiian, how Polynesians drew the world with a dome, surrounded it on a fixed foundation. Oh shit.
Points of the stars provide direction.
So what direction we're heading?
Southeast, southwest.
Southeast.
The night sky is like a dome that encloses the Earth in space. The dome revolves around the Earth on its axis.
So what direction we're heading?
Southeast, southwest.
The night sky is like a dome that encloses the Earth in space. The night sky is like a dome that encloses the Earth in space. The night sky is like a dome that encloses the Earth in space. The dome revolves around the Earth on its axis. The canoe is at the center of the dome, fixed, with the world and the stars shifting in front of them. Axis. The canoe is at the center of the dome, fixed, with the world axis. The canoe is at the center of the dome, fixed, with the world and the stars shifting in front of them. A perspective that would inspire the inventors of today's GPS.
We use about 220 stars by name. So basically, 220 stars positioned in rise in the east and 220 in the west.
But several hours into the night,
So there's 220 stars in the east, 220 stars in the west.
Thompson is concerned. They've gone off course. He spots a telltale sign.
If you look at Kamakawa Maui, yeah, you look at the head, the 3 stars in the head, and generally they make a vertical line towards south.
Kamakawa Nui o Maui is the Polynesian name for Scorpio. For thousands of years, ancient navigators have used this constellation as a heading towards south.
When the Scorpion transits and those stars are vertical, then the Scorpion becomes you're heading towards Tahiti. So we gotta go more to the east. So let's go open the back sail. We open the back sail to actually help steer us towards farther into the wind. So in this particular course, it'll take us more into the east. So we want to head to Tahiti about 25 degrees.
The crew hopes that they've made the right choice.
Once you make a decision, you can't go back later and change it. You know, it's done. And you got to go to the next decision, the next sunrise, the next sunset.
This trip is just part of a much larger voyage Nainoa Thompson undertook not long ago. Using these 3,000-year-old techniques, he wanted to see if he could sail the canoe from the Marquesas to Easter Island with only ancient navigation, no modern tools. He and his team found their way and completed the entire trip in just over 6 weeks. Thompson's journey was the evidence researchers have been looking for. The proof that Hotu Matua could well have traveled from Hiwa to Easter Island. That his journey may well have been much more than just a legend.
I cannot honestly say that Hotu Matua was with us the whole way. He was navigating us the whole way.
Of the Marquesas, a remarkable. Could they have found the myth really of undertaking? But the island he's sailing from goes by the ancient name of Hiwa. In fact, according to an ancient map, a 300-year-old document from a Tahitan high priest, many of the islands in this region originally went by the name of Hiwa. The name from the Easter Islanders' stories. It's the present-day location of the Marquesas, a remarkable link to the legend. May well have. It's a kind of ocean map known as a stick chart. Thin pieces of coconut fronds are tied together to represent ocean currents. Small shells attached to the frame show the location of land. It's a chart of islands visited, all part of the evidence that led Barry Rowlett to believe the ancient Polynesians traveled far across the Pacific, with a plan to colonize the islands they found.
Our new theory is that the discovery and settlement of Polynesia.
Now I want you guys to see something as well. Now you see how all of this is controlled by the University of Hawaii, controlling and perverting all this evidence and excluding the Hawaiians, which is the capital of the Polynesian continent move. Excluding Hawaii, but being controlled from Hawaii. All of Polynesians, all of this stuff.
Discovery and settlement of Polynesia was a systematic and intentional process and not at all accidental.
Previously, experts believed this long-distance voyage across the Pacific would have been impossible for 2 main reasons. Firstly, the wind. A trip to Easter Island would have taken them towards the rising sun, from west to east. But across the Pacific, The winds in the tropics blow in the opposite direction, from east to west along the equator. These are the trade winds, and many thought they'd make a trip east impossible. But Rowland has noticed something in these islands. At certain times of year, these winds actually shift.
Today is an unusual day. Normally the wind comes from the mountains. Today the wind is blowing from the ocean, from the west. Some of the earlier researchers from the mountains, today the wind is blowing from the ocean, from the west. Some of the earlier researchers just looked at the prevailing winds and they didn't take into account the seasonal changes.
These changing winds are called the westerlies. Any ancient sailor would have known about them.
Westerlies.
The westerly winds then will come and go. Polynesians would wait for them to come in order to sail to some place that would otherwise be difficult to get to.
This would allow a canoe, like Hotu Matua's, to sail east with the wind at their backs.
America, like Asia,
But there was still a second major obstacle,
all of Polynesia.
navigation. How did they pinpoint land in an immense ocean without a compass or any other tool? Nainoa Thompson and the Polynesian voyage